Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania. It's the Bill and Corey Show. I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Hey, welcome back to another live episode. Yes, we do have the YouTube chat set up, so if you have any questions during the show, just type them in there, and hopefully we'll be able to answer them. We got some good questions today, and we get to have some buzzers and stuff going off.
It'll be exciting.
First one is, the alarm on top of my gas cabinet keeps alarming. There are no cylinders in the cabinet at this time.
I think I know the answer to this one. It's alarmed because there are no cylinders in the cabinet. It's like, hey.
Yeah, I guess you could have a proximity alarm telling you there are no cylinders in the cabinet. But this is our GSM 12 monitor, and we stick it on, get it on top of gas cabinets when they have a configured panel inside that typically has emergency shut-off valve on there. So it can take a variety of inputs, and it'll shut off. In this case, someone saw an alarm go off, and I guess they weren't quite too familiar with it, and kind of, I guess, panicked a little bit about what it is. So we're going to kind of show you what happens with this thing and show you how to diagnose your alarms. So when you turn the power on first, all the lights light up, and then you hit reset, because it's going to shut down in the beginning. Now, when in the back, there's all these contacts for inputs, like if you have pressure switches, or you can have a gas detection, or excess flow switch, or whatever. You get exhaust failure alarm, and you can wire those into here. So what happens is, if you lose, if these connections open up, so if you have a failure condition, first thing, I had the power turn off on that. So you see there, you hit alarm silence, and then it says, this one says gas detection alarm, and that's actually what the problem they had. The problem they had was they had a gas detector head that needed to be replaced, so it failed. And that's the whole idea, is when you have these things wired up, if you lose a connection, it's going to alarm. So customer was a little panicky for a minute, and then when they kind of traced the alarm condition with the wires, he figured that out. So, so that got solved. Now, when you order a gas cabinet, of course, you're going to get an instruction manual. It's got all sorts of things in there, and wiring and stuff like that. You also get a nice little cheat sheet here. It's got QR codes, so you can look at videos in here on how to wire this thing up and the function tests and such. It also has information page. You can look at the product page and instructions and so forth. So that's our GSM 12 shutdown controller.
All right.
Unplug it?
Yeah,
unplug. That's don't buzz anymore.
I was going to say, that's one way to fix the alarm. Just unplug it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Next question is for Corey. Another little electronic thing. We're not going to plug this one in. I want to know, what is the output contact rating for the PM24 pressure monitor? Hey,
look at that. So here's our PM24 pressure monitor. It's typically used on switchovers with an IPS. It monitors the pressure in your cylinders, and it'll send a signal letting you know when it gets below a certain pressure that you need to replace the cylinder, and so the alarm will go off. And this is what's inside of there. As you can see, well, I got to flip it around. As you can see, there's the red and green, red and green. And on the back here, these are the two relays, and they actually say it right on there. These two relays, it is 12 amp, 120 VAC. That's the rating for it. However, there is a cord.
No, you're good.
Oh,
yeah. That's all right. It's got, this is your output, these are your input contacts on the bottom.
On the bottom.
This is your output contacts. And we send connectors and pins with it. And the wires typically
are 24 gauge.
Yeah, 24 gauge.
And they can only take about 3.5 amps. Yeah. So that would be the limiting factor of the entire PM24. So
there you go.
that's the answer. That was exciting when we don't plug them in.
Yeah, no buzzers this time. We had a previous episode where we turned that in. It was quite loud, much louder than the GSM-12. Okay, now, switchover question for me. Good afternoon. I am interested in 523 series automatic cylinder switchover system. For our application, we would want the line regulator to be 0 to 500 psi. Is it possible to replace the regulator with a line regulator with a higher pressure one? I understand that the changeover pressure would still be 200 psi, which wouldn't bother our process. We just occasionally need the ability to go as high as 500 psi. So our standard switchovers, Corey's going to get a high pressure switchover. Our standard switchovers, the highest we can do with our standard switchovers is a 250 psi delivery pressure, and that would have about a 330 psi switchover pressure.
Let's see how long I can hold this.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. I'll count it down here. So we can, and if you buy a switchover, you can buy line regulators to swap it out. So if you have a line regulator set up for 30 psi and you really want 100 psi, we can sell you that setup. This is a high pressure switchover. So this is for something if you wanted to have 500 psi delivery pressure. And I don't even know what this is set at.
So you can't just replace the line regulator.
No, you can't. Well, this is a separate system. It looks differently. But the high pressure switchover, we have a three-way ball valve to help select the primary side, and then the other side would be the backup side. It's got a main supply regulator. This is actually the switchover regulator. So if this is our line regulator on here, and if the line regulator is set for 500 psi max delivery, then the switchover would be almost 600 psi. And yeah, this helps keep a relatively stable pressure in the middle here. So when the cylinder would drop below 600 psi, let's say it's on this side, it drops below 600 psi, the other side would kick in. So that's our high pressure switchover. We've done them for 500 psi. We have some customers want 1,000 or 1,500. We've even had some at like 2,200 psi. So you're not going to get a lot out of your cylinder if you have a 2,400 psi cylinder or 2,640 and you're getting 2,200 out of it. You're not going to get a lot out of there. So this is the solution if you want to have a high delivery pressure. Now, if they have if they just need 500 psi occasionally, they might want to just go with a standard switchover and just get a cylinder regulator or something like that.
I was going to say that and then bypass the switchover from the regulator whenever you need the 500 psi.
Yeah, because this one your cylinder is going to go down to 600, not 200 psi.
Not 200
so there's a little bit more gas in there that you probably want to use on a regular basis. So you did pretty good holding that up.
Yeah, no, most of the weight is on the hoses, I'm not going to lie.
Okay. Okay, next question is for Corey on pressure gauges.
Oh, the excitement.
Yeah. Can we add a factory calibration certificate for pressure regulator gauges?
This is our standard pressure gauge. This one it's rated 3% the first quarter, 2% in the middle, and 3% again in the top quarter, meaning you're most accurate in the middle, 50%, and then 3% in the top 25% and the lower 25%. And unfortunately, no, we cannot get a calibration certificate for these. They are what they are. However, we do have this. If it has a calibration certificate right on the side of it, it is a 0.25% of full span. So this one is really accurate.
Yeah.
And so it also has a nice mirrored finish behind it so that you can actually look at it and you'll see in the mirror the line going across. So whatever angle you look at it, well, not really whatever angle. But,
you want to have the needle's got to line up with the mirrored image. And it'll give you your accurate reading.
It gives you a very accurate reading. Yeah. And this one is NIST certified, correct?
Yep.
So there you go. So if you want a,
Yeah, that's our 6-inch test gauge available on our online store. For the accuracy class, it's ASME B40- or .100 grade 3A.
There you go.
And it's plus or minus 0.25% of the full scale. So, the full scale of the gauge.
So that's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Accuracy grade 3A, 0.25%.
Right on
right
there.
there, right
Yeah,
on
it's
there.
really nice. And then you can send those out to get calibrated to
yes.
gauge calibration houses. We don't do gauge calibrations, but you could send it out to a gauge calibration house. We do that here with our test gauges. We send them out and get them calibrated.
There you go.
So there we go. So no, we didn't get any questions coming in through the YouTube chat. So that's all our questions for this week. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and get automatic notifications if you don't have like a alarm set up at 10 o'clock on Thursday mornings.
Yeah.
So I hope you can join us next week at 10 a.m.
Set your VCRs.